The following program is a UNC Charlotte production.
Welcome inside UNC Charlotte. First up in this edition, we recap the visit of the renowned Martha Graham Dance Company. UNC Charlotte's College of Arts and Architecture hosted the world-class performers as they gave their troupe's first Charlotte performance in more than 30 years. Then we'll visit UNC Charlotte Center City and examine what impact the university's presence in Uptown Charlotte has made on our students, our city, and the Charlotte region. The UNC Charlotte Alumni Association presented 11 awards last year to alumni whose lives and accomplishments embody what North Carolina's Urban Research University is all about. We'll take a look at two of the honorees, Misty Hathcock and Dennis Bunker, to see why they are so passionate about this university. All this and more inside UNC Charlotte. Many things set UNC Charlotte apart from our region's other institutions. One is the way that the cultural activities at North Carolina's Urban Research University enhance the quality of life throughout the Charlotte region. In January, the UNC Charlotte College of Arts and Architecture hosted the Martha Graham Dance Company, one of the world's most revered dance companies. It was the troupe's first performance in the Queen City in more than 30 years. Inside UNC Charlotte's Meg Whalen has more.
A highlight of the Martha Graham Dance Company's performance, which took place at the Night Theater at Levine Center for the Arts, was the premiere of a lost Graham work, Imperial Gesture, reanimated by Kim Jones, assistant professor of dance and a former Martha Graham dancer. Presented first in Charlotte, Imperial Gesture receives its New York City premiere in February.
Imperial Gesture is a solo that Martha Graham choreographed in 1935 in reaction to what was happening in the world. It was a solo that she kept in her repertoire for about 2 years, and it hasn't been revisited until January 2013. I discovered the work of Imperial Gesture through the artistic director of the Graham Company, Janet Elber. She had approached me one day and asked me if I'd be interested in reconstructing Imperial Gesture, and I thought, well, that sounds like a great idea. And I didn't realize that at the time that she asked me, there were only 2 reviews and 2 photographs that were found. And so I shelved the project for a while, and then I revisited after the Barbara Morgan Foundation had discovered 35 more photographs for Imperial Gesture. I applied for the faculty research grant here at UNC Charlotte in hopes to find more funding to further investigate and research the work. And with good fortune, I was able to receive the FRG and proceed with my research. And we were able to discover some transitional phrases, we call them, linking some of the photos together, sort of like a picture book. And we were able to work out these pictures as a sequences of dance steps.
Another highlight was the presentation of Panorama, performed by a 33-member ensemble of dancers from the university and across the broad spectrum of the dance community. These dancers were chosen through professional audition and were trained by Professor Jones throughout the 4 months leading up to the performance.
I was really excited to be in ensemble because I'm one of those little dancers. I have to keep up with all the other big dancers, so I dance big. And to have the opportunity to be in such a big role and do such big movements that traveled so much so harshly, it really meant a lot to me.
Being able to work with other dancers from UNC Charlotte and other dancers from within the community is really nice because it's creating that culture, it's creating that community with other dancers that I may not have been able to meet or dance with before.
The College of Arts and Architecture seeks to present to the community distinctive and high-profile cultural programming of exceptional quality that reflects particular expertise and research activities within the college. This presentation was rooted in the expertise and research of Professor Jones.
When I came to UNC Charlotte, I didn't know what I wanted to major in. I did know what I wanted to do when I graduated from college, and that was get in the real estate business. So at the time, majoring in economics made most sense to me. I guess the mentor of all mentors here for me was Miss Bonnie Cohn. She was there for me in 3 very defining moments in my life. I had the opportunity to meet her when I was a senior in high school, and she said, "Dennis, you come here, you give it a chance." Got here, met a bunch of folks, had a great time, and never looked back. After that, 7 or 8 years later, was going back to school, and I asked her if she would write a letter of recommendation. Was accepted, went on down that path. I'm firmly convinced that if her recommendation letter would have been the only one in the package, I would have been admitted to that program and that school. And then the third one was a really big one. I had met the lady that I knew I was going to marry. And for those of you who know Bonnie, you know that she was a prolific rose grower. So I called her up to tell her that I had met the one, and could I come by and cut a dozen roses, have dinner with her, and she said sure. Went there the next day. We walked through the garden, picked 12 perfect roses, and delivered those to Kathy, and so the rest is history on that marriage front. Kathy gives me the opportunity to let my passion grow with this university, and it feels wonderful to know that you are in a position to help a younger person that might not otherwise be able to afford to be here to come get an education. Kathy and I decided a long time ago that education of young folks was very important to us, and I appreciate being involved where I think that I'm making a difference.
UNC Charlotte has enjoyed an uptown presence for years, but the start of the 2011-12 academic year brought a major milestone with the opening of this addition to the cityscape. As UNC Charlotte Center City marks its first year, we look at the impact this place has made on our students, our city, and the Charlotte region.
Yeah, this is not actually the first time for UNC Charlotte and Center City. Many people know that we had the leased facility over in the old Mint Museum space, but as the Chancellor likes to point out, the university started here in 1946, and Bonnie Cohn started classes for veterans returning from World War II in the old Central High School, which is just a couple blocks from here where Central Piedmont is now. Chancellor Woodward and current Chancellor Phil Dubois was provost in those days, had a vision to return to Center City with a full presence, and starting all the way back in 2005 was when Chancellor Woodward was able to make a deal to get the property here. And then subsequent to that, when Erskine Bowles was president of the UNC system, was able to do the financing to get the money to build the building. I think everyone in those days, right through the current time, recognizes the need for us to be fully engaged in the city, to be here, to be part of Charlotte, and for Charlotte to be part of the university. And that's our mission at UNC Charlotte Center City. You're here in Center City so you can get folks from the big businesses, from the banks, from the energy companies, but also from the architecture firms, from the cultural organizations, and the civic groups to come. It's just so much easier for them to come here. They can walk over. So it's an opportunity for students to see those people in class, but then also to get the chance to be an intern someplace, or to even just work for a day, to volunteer with one of the civic groups here in the community, here in First Ward.
I am currently enrolled in the paralegal certification program. It's part of the extended ed that is offered here at UNC Charlotte. I think the reason it's important to have it in this building is because it is in the center of Charlotte. You get to see the city as you come in. I'm coming from Hickory twice a week, so it's very convenient. It's off of Highway 16 and 77. All the technology is here. Everything is new. The computer labs are there for you with computers already ready to go. You don't have to worry about bringing a laptop and everything that you need for taking notes because it's there. One of my concerns coming to a larger city from somewhere like Hickory was the fact that I was going to be walking in my car late at night by myself. And we have plenty of security guards downstairs. They're willing to walk with us and watch out for us. And plus, I just really like the community feeling that comes with my peers.
Right now I'm in the Master's of Business Administration program, concentrating in Applied Investment Management. I'm scheduled to graduate in June of this year, and my involvement has been basically doing whatever I can to promote the school and the program. The convenience of being able to either walk or drive to the location is excellent. And plus it gives me the feeling that UNC Charlotte has committed themselves to the business community. They're not just renting a space and providing a location for students to come take a class. They've actually set a foundation for something that we can call our own. I have made or forged many networking friendships here, both with classmates, professors, and through various events that I've attended at the Center City building. I was proud when they initially made the announcement that it was going to be constructed, and I was even prouder to be able to be the first class or one of the first classes to attend here.
Just coming from Clemson, I entertained the idea of doing city planning there, but there's not really an urban context for that. So the idea that I could come here and literally be ingrained in the fabric of the city while I'm studying it was really appealing. As the city starts to grow out and as the university area comes more into the city, it really has the ability to establish itself as a place in the city, a place of dominance. So that's a really neat thing. I think that it's been the best move that I could possibly make. And studying at this location in this building gets me a lot. It gets me firsthand access to everything that's going on in the city. Everything's literally in our backyard. And I think that a cool thing about it is that we've already made the Center City building a place. We're kind of making a splash in Uptown. We're announcing that urban design is here. It's a fairly new program, and so this building, even the way it looks from the outside, helps us do that, and it gives us somewhere cool to utilize to draw attention to ideas that are important to us.
From the very minute we opened, when we moved in, we started having events before we started having classes. There was so much demand, people like coming here. But once they're here, they see the value of it, they see these connections, that actually it's a tangible thing that makes it all happen. Back in last spring, we had a community day event. We just invited people to come in and experience things we had. We had a brass band, we had dancers, we had other musicians, painters, where all the artists of whatever type of artist they were had some connection to the university. They were on the faculty, they were part-time, they were graduates, and we had several hundred people from the community come in, almost everybody just walking. So they truly were local folks coming in and experiencing the university for the first time. At least once a week, something is open to the public where people come in to see a movie, hear a talk, and we're only going to do more of that. And then the other thing is to really demonstrate the university's urban awareness, to be this urban research university, to do that in the urban setting. That's part of that initial mission statement that was written back in 2007. Talked about gateway, environmental sustainability, and urban awareness and context. That's still our mission, and we live that every day, and we see the fruits of it every day. As more people come in, more people are exposed to things we do at UNC Charlotte.
UNC Charlotte is my second home. Over the 30+ years I've been a student and on the faculty here at UNC Charlotte, there have been a lot of great moments. The day that I was offered the position as Teaching Fellows Director here at UNC Charlotte was most significant. The evening that my mother and I were inducted into the Hall of Fame, the day the Harris Alumni Center opened was a phenomenal day. We had worked a long time to secure the site and funding for that building. That was a great moment. I am a 6th generation educator. And not only is my mother and my aunts are also teachers, but they're also home economists. So somewhere along the line, I did get a cooking gene or two. We recently published our 9th family cookbook called Traditions, of recipes from our family and throughout generations of our family. Throughout my time here, I have had an opportunity to work with a lot of amazing people. And I would have to say, first and foremost, Miss Bonnie. Her love for this university and her passion for students, she was a remarkable woman. My life was truly blessed and enriched having known Miss Bonnie. and I treasure all of the moments that I had and the time that I spent with her. UNC Charlotte is my second home, and I am committed to these students. I am committed to this university. I love this university, and I truly believe that my blood runs green, and I'm a 49er for life. I can't imagine being anywhere else. And so this is, as I said, this is my second home, and here's where I want to be.
UNC Charlotte's Model United Nations program provides participants an opportunity to research and debate global issues. Participants gain a valuable perspective that carries over throughout their careers.
It is an interactive learning experience. It is a chance for students to gain a wide range of different kinds of skills, to draw from a wide range of majors, students who might ordinarily not be able to interact together, and giving them a chance to turn their ideas into policy propositions which they could take to regional, national, and international conferences, to meet with other students who have similar passions and interests, and to see if they can find ways to make some of these ideas work.
This year we had the first fall class. There was an intro into Model UN. And so I, in conjunction with Dr. Combs, was able to have a class structure as opposed to our typical club setting. So we taught them how to research, how to engage in public speaking, how to give motivational speeches, how to caucus with others, and rules of procedure. All conferences have some sort of different type of rules of procedure. And so we teach them all of these different aspects that they're going to use within the actual conference setting.
So this year we brought home 52 awards, which is the most we've ever brought home in this school's history. The first conference we participated was in Atlanta. It's called Sermon. We brought upwards of 50 people, and we did incredibly well. We've participated in one other regional conference, and that was the Model Arab League in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Afterwards, we went to the Model Arab League in Washington, D.C. Both of those conferences, we brought home 2 delegation awards, and a majority of our members brought home individual awards. The latest conference we went to was in Vancouver, Canada, and we had our most successful conference there as well, where over a majority of our teammates brought home awards.
I was selected as a freshman to go to Harvard World's Model United Nations Conference. So I got to travel as a freshman to Vancouver, Canada with, so many of my friends and Dr. Combs, and it was such a great experience. And not only the experience there, but Melissa and I came back with an award as well. So we won a delegate award at an international conference. And in my freshman year, knowing that I'd been successful through a group that also provided friendship was the best thing in the entire world.
My freshman year, we had a great experience traveling to Haiti. We had the opportunity to go and do some relief work after the earthquakes there. And that was kind of born out of the idea that we go to these conferences and we talk about all these ideas and theory, what they can do to improve the international community, but then a handful of us decided that we actually wanted to take the next step and go out and be some of that change.
Our work in Haiti was varied. We had both the service and a construction element. Our construction aspect is we were putting in sustainable latrine usage for the orphanage. Our service project had a lot to do with hygiene, public health and safety, and then also some English skills, which a lot of the Haitians were eager to learn.
That was by far the most challenging time of my life. To go down there and to see the devastation, to see what these people were living through. But it was also incredible because you got to meet these kids who had such a passion to life, who loved being alive, that had smiles on their faces all the time, but they were living in these such destitute situations that were just unbelievable. But to come together as a team and to really work together and to do something for close to 100 orphans at that time, it was really life-altering. To really get on the ground and do something that we're always debating in our suits in these conferences.
I remember one particular instance. We were coming back from the work site and our car broke down on the side of the road. We were kind of on the edge of a tent city, and I remember looking in and I saw a woman inside her tent. Now mind you, the tent is nothing more than just a piece of plastic really draped over 2 sticks. The only thing that she owned was a small pillow and a 5-gallon bucket. She sat on the bucket staring at us as we walked through, and I just remember thinking that it's individuals When we take these small steps and these small actions, however little they may be, these are the things that add up and really make a difference in people's lives. These people have nothing, and we were able to give them something. And that something provided them hope, and that's what I think will restore them.
It was hard because you could only make a very tiny difference. They were translating their ideas of the needs of poverty and devastation and refugees. And they saw refugee camps where people were living in water up to their knees and had no real hope of it getting better right away. We were on the site by 6:30 or 7 in the morning, and we worked until 8 or later in the evening because they didn't want to stop. It's coming back and knowing that you've only made a small difference. It's a reality check. All of those resolutions about helping are really good. Translating that into actual action is a serious challenge. Out of that, you've got students who are now trying to go into security studies and conflict resolution at the grad level to see if they can't be a part of actually making the world a better place.
Everything from public speaking to my writing to my negotiation skills, everything just improves with this club. But moreover, it just has really developed my interest in international affairs and what I hope to do post-graduation.
Every week I have something Model United Nations to do, so I'm constantly reinforcing the skills that I know I'm going to need later in life. And everything I do here is going to reflect somehow in the job that I eventually take and the path that I eventually pursue.
It allows students like myself who are interested in master's programs to speak with former alums of Model UN program to decide what would be the best program of study. It allows us to work through different organizations and internships. Really what the mentoring process is here at Model UN at UNC Charlotte is a family network. We're able to connect, share ideas, share thoughts, share stories, and through that, we're really able to build a structure that's really unique on campus.
It has grown, and we now have students from almost every college, literally every college. You're talking about nursing, we're all over the place. A wide range of diverse students. More than 50 last year. 4 years ago, we were hitting about 20-some. This year, we hit 51 in the fall. It's a growing, exciting program with all kinds of potential.
Freshman basketball player Willie Clayton has burst onto the college basketball landscape in his first season with the 49ers. A gentle giant away from the hardwood, let's find out what makes Willie flip the switch for game time.
I started playing basketball when I was 6 years old at Thomasville YMCA, and then I found out about it through they came to my elementary. I went to Sky Elementary School. And so they came to the elementary school and they wanted some players. And so they left little forms for us to fill out and stuff like that. So I took one home to my mother, and then I told her, I was real about basketball because she played basketball. And so that was about my first time expressing myself to my mother that I wanted to play basketball. I actually did want to be a guard, but it turned around to be that, I started growing and growing and growing. And then I never worked on my ball handling skills. And so all of a sudden, I was always bigger and stronger than all the kids I grew up with. So, I was just watching NBA and watching college. I'm like, them guys big just like I am. And I'm physical just like they are. So I was just like, I'm gonna turn into a big. And I just started playing the big.
I just try to stay out of Willie's way and make sure he knows which end we're shooting on. But Willie's being Willie. He's rebounded. Probably when he was 2 years old, he was rebounded. He's probably freshman year in high school, he could rebound.
What makes a good rebounder? A guy that knows the rim. You got to know where the ball is at all times. When your point guard shoot the ball, you got to know where it's gonna land.
Rebounding is one of those things that it really doesn't have a whole lot to do with coaching. Guys have a nose for it, and he's got a gift, quite honestly, but he's a high character kid as well. So what you're seeing is a consistency because of who he is as a person, and you're seeing some results in terms of what he is as a player.
There's no finesse. It's straight monster. It's like you don't want to play me on an angry night. That's it. And then growing up, I watched Dennis Rodman a lot playing basketball, and it was just something about him that I liked it. He knew his role. So, and that's the same thing I see myself on this team. I know my role. So my role is to get rebounds, and if a couple points fall my way, they fall my way. That's how it is. But I just know my role. I like that.
Let's go, game time! I think what they're learning that you didn't have in high school. In high school, physically they could either overpower someone or they could just catch the ball against a 6'4" guy and turn and jump up and dunk it. And I think it's a great learning experience for them to have to now go through the guy behind you is a lot like you. Yeah. And so it'll encourage them to be more crafty in what they're doing, which is, I think that would be nothing but a good thing.
Next up, we take a look at one of our own student entrepreneurs. Fahad Firdausi is a senior majoring in finance at UNC Charlotte. He and fellow student John Cole co-founded WordBilly, a business that brings everyday words to life.
WordBilly is a design company, and along with our sister brands Rusty Walnut and That One Gift, we're focused on crafting modern specialty goods in interior design as well as other lifestyle products. We thought about the name for several days. We looked at our product, we looked at our idea. We also wanted the name to be unique. So kind of how Silly Bands is a unique name associated with a particular product. We wanted a name to be associated with our product. And then we had the challenge of finding a domain name that was also available. So we designed the product in-house, and after we've designed the product, we send it to our manufacturer here in the United States. After the pieces have been manufactured and we receive them, we hand finish each product and then we pack them and ship them. I'm going through the Entrepreneurship Certificate program at UNCC and just learning more about the entrepreneurial legacy of the United States. We were very inspired to be enterprising. The reason why we settled on this product is we're kind of typography geeks, both my business partner and I. So we really wanted to build, we saw that there was a lot of passion behind these things, but we wanted to build the physical incarnation of the typography. All these professors really, in so many words, they said that if you really want to be an entrepreneur, you get your skills at school, but you've got to go out there and just do it, just launch. So to experience that, you've got to go out and engage with customers, build a model that would be viable, and just go out and do something. We have 25,000 students here at UNCC. The biggest thing that I wanted to encourage when I came in as president was to energize the student body to be young entrepreneurs. Really, the way we picture our company growing is that it evolves into a full-service interior design company with the Rusty Walnut brand and That One Gift, which is, That One Gift is going to be a curated website for specific gifts where you don't have to kind of muddle through all the things that are out there. And Rusty Walnut evolves, carries the WordBilly brand, evolves into something like West Elm or something like that, where it's a specialty modern goods company.
Thanks again for joining us. You can see more on the web each day at inside.uncc.edu, and all of our segments from this program are on YouTube. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing you next time right here inside UNC Charlotte.